Hey guys, so in my last video you watched me unbox this Griot's foam cannon, which I haven't tried yet, and it might be a piece of crap. I honestly don't know, but I'm assuming that it's not, and I'm going to talk about why I picked it up and why I'm thinking about trying it. So inside the box you get a foam cannon, you get instruction manual, you get a different orifice. This is a 1.1, the 1.25 is in there, and you get 3 of these. They're different colors. This blue, there's like a blue, a pink, and a purple. They come in a kit. And I think that those are what make this different than every other foam cannon that I've played with so far. So, what are these? Well, typically, when you're using a foam cannon like this MTM PF-22, which is a pretty popular foam cannon, the water running through here creates a Venturi effect that sucks soap from the canister into your pressure washer stream. And normally what's in here gets diluted somewhere around 10-1. That's not an exact number. It depends on the orifice size. It depends on the pressure washer that you have. It depends on the amount of pressure and flow that you're doing. But I see about a 10-1 with my Krenzla 1322 using a 1.25 orifice. So the water coming through here is 10-1 diluted already. So it's drawing 1 part of this for every 10 parts of water that come through. And inside here, we dilute the soap further. So like when I use GSF, I put about 200 milliliters in here and then I fill the rest with water. So it's like another 1 to 5. So really I'm getting 1 to 5 times 1 to 10. So I'm running like 1 to 50 when I'm using soap. Somewhere in that neighborhood. Sometimes I put like 150 milliliters. Sometimes I put as much as 200. 200 would be the 1 to 5. What that ends up meaning is to fill this up, I put in 200 milliliters of soap. Fill the rest up with water, I end up with 1 liter of concentrate. And that allows me to get through like 2 cars. A little over 2 cars. There's a little tiny bit left in the tank at the end, but you can get through about 2 cars reasonably. So Griot's, what they did was they thought, well, instead of wanting to deal with dilution ratios and having to dilute inside this foam cannon, why don't they just make it suck less soap? Well, the problem is that then you have problems with compatibility with certain pressure washers, certain soaps, certain amounts of flow, this and that. So they created these metering tips. And there used to be 6. It seems like there are now only 3. This comes with 3. So there's a purple, there's a blue, and there's a pink. And the purple would be the one for my electric pressure washer. That's what they say. So we're going to try this out. And what this is supposed to do is it's supposed to reduce the amount of fluid that this is drawing to change it so that instead of it sucking this fluid at 10-1, it's now sucking it at 50-1 or some number. Now Griot's doesn't publish what that number is, but I'm thinking it's probably pretty close to 50-1. We'll find out as we play with this. But my thought is, if I don't have to fill this up, and I could just actually fill this up all the way with GSF and not have to dilute it, not have to mix any water, not have to worry about filling this up every week when I go out to fill up my car or to wash my car, well, that's actually pretty cool. So what I've done as time has gone on, I started off, I had this MTM PF-22 that was my only gun, and the thing works well. It's a great product. I don't like how small the neck is on it. It's hard to fill, but I have a tap on my 5-liter bottles and that makes it easier. It's still not great. I have this one. This is the SOOPrinse, SOOPrinse, and I did a video on this. And this thing actually works pretty well, but it doesn't have a weight on the tube. So the tube sits in one corner, so depending on how you're holding it, sometimes it sucks product, sometimes it doesn't when it gets empty. This has actually been my favorite so far. This is the MJJC Foam Cannon Pro. And this has a weighted tube on the bottom of it, which is what I really like about it. And this weighted tube, you know, bounces around in here and allows you to make sure that you're sucking up product all the time. So if you're holding it like this or you're holding it like this, it gets your product. But this Griot's could potentially be the best of all worlds. If I can use this and run full strength GSF in here, or even just dilute it less and have it last me a lot more cars. It's got the weighted tube, it's got the stainless steel head like the MTM does, You know, these are both brass, obviously. And what's really cool is normally you have to buy bottles. So if you want to buy another bottle for this MTM, I think it's like 25 bucks, and I have a couple of them. But Griot's actually does this thing where you buy soap from Griot's, and the soap from Griot's screws right on here. And it tells you what metering tip to put on it depending on what pressure washer you're using. So theoretically, you could never fill this bottle up. You just go buy soap. And when you run out, you screw a new one on and you run it. Do your thing. So we're going to play with this. We're going to see how it is. I think the overall fit and finish build quality seems really good. It seems on par with the MTM. It's probably a little bit better than this guy. This definitely feels better. It feels like there's bearings in here, where this just kind of feels like two pieces of plastic rubbing together. This knob seems a little bit nicer. There's stainless steel hardware, all stainless here. And you know, realistically, this MJJC Foam Cannon Pro is a Chinese knockoff of this guy, most likely. You know what, just being honest. And this is cheaper than this is too, though. The Griot's one is more expensive. It's 100 bucks. And Griot's isn't making their own stuff, probably. This is most likely something they're getting from somebody else that's being OEM'd for them. But if it's a good product, it's a good product. And this Foam Cannon Pro is actually a good product. It works very well. It's 80 bucks. So we're going to try this out. We're going to see how it works, and we'll see how we need to dilute soap to make it actually work for us. All right, so the first thing that we're going to try is we're going to use straight soap. So this is Koch Chemie GSF. I'm going to put approximately 200 milliliters of soap in here. So we'll fill it up to the 200 line. And we're just going to try running this straight, and we're going to see if it can actually suck it through this tiny orifice and how it works. So we've got this, we've got our weighted tube, which I really do like this weighted tube. The rubber is super soft and pliable, and the tube's got the ball on the end has got a really nice weight to it. Like I said, they do give you another orifice, they do give you other jet sizes as well. So I am using my Mossmatic gun. I've got a Krenzla 1322. And I've got this full strength. We're just going to see how it foams. So we can see that obviously the foam is very thick. Let's go out and spray it on the Mercedes so you can kind of see it on a car. But I'm wondering if I can get through this entire car with 200 milliliters, because it normally takes me about 4. So let's see how much we use doing this whole car. So here we are, we're going to foam the whole car. All right. So the foam is thick. I have about 150 milliliters left. So I used about 50 milliliters doing that. And that's the whole car. So normally I would use probably around 400, and that 400 would be mixed 1 to 5. So I'd use about 80 milliliters of soap. And in this case, I used about 50, which is actually less than what I was expecting. All right, so there we are. First impressions, this thing works great. I used around the same, maybe a little bit less concentrated soap than I normally do, but without having to do the dilution, which is super nice. So my next test, I'm gonna fill this thing all the way up and I'm gonna use it to wash a couple of cars and we're gonna see how long it actually lasts, and I'll come back and let you guys know. We've fast forwarded a month since I started this video, and I honestly believe that this is probably the best foam cannon that you can buy on the market right now. I'm not sponsored by Griot's Garage. I'm not an affiliate of Griot's Garage. I will probably put a link in the description to Amazon because that would provide me with affiliate revenue if somebody did make a purchase. But realistically, like, I think that this is the best foam cannon that exists based on my experience and the ones that I've used. So let me tell you why I think this is the best foam cannon on the market today. The entire head is stainless steel. Overkill, but it is. It's stainless steel. It's $100, but the MTM PF-22 is $89, so this is $10 more. The dilution tubes are really a game changer. So I've been running this with Koch Chemie GSF, and I've washed 10 cars, and I am at this line right now in fluid. Normally I would get 2 cars out of an entire tank when I'm running an MTM PF-22. I'm using the purple metering nozzle in the end of the tube. And I'm running Koch Chemie GSF. I'm doing 800 milliliters of Koch Chemie GSF and about 200 milliliters of water. So it's like 4-to-1 GSF to water. But I'm 10 cars in and I've used 200, maybe 250 milliliters. So realistically, I'm using less soap than what I was using previously, or right around the same amount of soap as what I was using previously. I don't have to refill this between washes. I don't have to refill it every single day like I used to. I can leave it full. As long as you use deionized water, the soap doesn't break down over time left in this cannon. It's been in here for almost a month. Done 10 washes. It's 2 or 3 cars a week for the last 4 weeks. The entire head is stainless. So, you know, the MTM PF-22 is stainless, but the MJJC Foam Cannon Pro is not. So this is better than the MJJC because it is stainless and the MJJC is not. The MTM has too small of a nozzle and it doesn't have a weighted tube. Again, this gets the win. Nobody else has the metering tips. The SOOPrinse cannon isn't anything near as good as this. Like, I think that this is the best foam cannon on the market. Additional bottles for it are cheap. They're like 20 bucks. And it has this dual thread design. So you can actually go to like an AutoZone or somewhere that sells Griot's Garage. You see there's a little threaded circle in the center. You can buy bottles of soap that are 100% ready to go off of the shelf from Griot's, from Amazon, from AutoZone. Screw it right in here, and then you have an extra bottle. So I'm going to show you how this works. I'm just going to spray the Mazda 3 off so that you can kind of see it in action. But this is 800 milliliters of GSF, 200 milliliters of water. I'm using the purple metering tube, Krenzla K1322, and I've got the 1.25 orifice in here, the one that it came with. Entire car. I went from this ridge to slightly below the ridge. I used less than 100 milliliters, which means I used less than 80 milliliters of soap. And normally I would have put about 150 to 200 milliliters in here, and I would have used half the bottle on the car. So I would have used 75 to 100 milliliters of soap on an average car. So anyway, if you're looking for the best foam cannon on the market, I think that's currently it. I know there's a new MTM coming out, the PF-22 version 3. I know nothing about it. I'm not sure if it's going to be better, worse, exactly what it's going to be. I think MTM makes a great product. I think they stand behind their product, and I've had 0 problems with my PF-22. But the large neck on this and the metering tips changed the game as far as I'm concerned, and they make it the best product that you can currently buy on the market. So thank you for watching. I'll put a link in the description if you're interested in checking it out. I highly recommend it. Otherwise, have a great day.